Gullah Geechee is one of the most unique Creole-based languages in America. But shockingly, this language ain't well known outside the Gullah Geechee Heritage Quarter. Some linguists believe the word Gullah may have derived from the Angola people, and some believe the word Geechee may have come from the Kisi people of West Central Africa. But all of these are just theories. What y'all boy think? Is he fact or is he flam? Similar to most West African languages, Gullah Geechee is tonal. For example, the phrase "you good" has multiple meanings depending on the tone that's used. Hey, what going on? You good? How your mama and them boy doing? What's all that commotion in the background? You good? You good? It's difficult to say how many Gullah Geechee speakers actually exist, since he ain't been any recent seminar research since Lorenzo Dow Turner. Lorenzo Dow Turner, a black linguist from Elizabeth City, North Carolina, is known as the father of Gullah studies for his seminal research and proving that Gullah Geechee was a real language and not broken English. His book, Africanisms in the Gullah Dialect, was published in 1949. Researchers estimate that there's 300 to 5,000 fluent Gullah Geechee speakers. Mind you, there's a huge difference between the Gullah and Geechee language. The difference is not well known outside of the Gullah Geechee Heritage Quarter, and this also makes it difficult to accurately estimate how many Gullah Geechee speakers actually exist. The Gullah Geechee language developed by linguistically diverse Africans enslaved and isolated on sea islands off the coast of South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Geechee, which I coined as modern Gullah, emerged when Gullah Geechee people were forced from their land and started to assimilate more with European culture in America. For example, a common greeting in Gullah is how Hana Fadu or how Una Fadu, and a common greeting in Geechee is what going on. And this simply means, how are you? Gullah Geechee is considered an English-based Creole language. However, Gullah sounds more African-based and Geechee sounds more English-based. Unfortunately, the number of Gullah speakers are decreasing, and today, Gullah is considered an endangered language since the youngest fluent speakers are people over 40. After the Stoner Rebellion of 1739, South Carolina passed a series of codes known as the Negro or Black Codes that made it illegal for Black people to learn how to read or write. Learning English proficiently was a crime punishable by death for free or enslaved Africans in the southern colonies. Due to their relative isolation on rice farm plantations, these stolen Africans were able to blend their ancestral languages together and gave birth to a new language known today as the Gullah Geechee language. Gullah Geechee went by many different names within history. Before Gullah Geechee was officially adopted, this unique language was known as Plantation Creole, Sea Island Creole, and African American Creole. The Emancipation Proclamation was passed by Abraham Lincoln on September 22nd in 1862, which declared that all slaves in the state currently engaged in rebellion against the Union shall be then, henceforth, and forever free. Mental note: Abraham Lincoln may have signed the bill that freed enslaved Africans, but it was the work of the Gullah warriors that influenced him to make that decision. After the Emancipation Proclamation outlawed slavery, newly freed African people quickly opened schools to educate their own. After the Civil War, a lot of northern abolitionists came to the South to teach children and their families how to read and write in English, but many were shocked by the language spoken on the Sea Island and passed it off as slave talk. Unfortunately, some were even beaten inside these schools for speaking Gullah by both white and Black teachers. This historical trauma is still felt today and is one of the many contributing factors as to why the Gullah language was not passed down to the next generation. Even today, Gullah Geechee students whose first language is Geechee are punished in school for speaking their language and sometimes even punished in their own communities. Geechee speaking students are often told that their language is bad or broken and not allowed at school due to it not being the standard or not being the proper form of English. But who determines what's standard and what's proper? Language is more than just how we communicate. It represents culture and identity. When you tell a child their language is bad or broken, you are telling them that they are bad and broken. Gullah Geechee students who don't know how or who refuse to code switch are often put in speech class, special education, and labeled with having a learning disability. According to Harvard Business Review, code switching involves adjusting one's style of speech, appearance, behavior, and expression in ways that will optimize the comfort of others in exchange for fair treatment, quality service, and employment opportunities. Research suggests that code switching often occurs in spaces where negative stereotypes of Black people run counter to what are considered appropriate behaviors and norms for a specific environment. Gullah Geechee and most Black students are bilingual. Most of us speak a variety of Black language, and as Dr. April Baker Bell describes, white mainstream English. Linguistic Justice, a book written by Dr. April Baker Bell, speaks about the emotional harm of anti-Black linguistic racism in the classroom and the impact it has on Black students' sense of self-worth and identity. Gullah Geechee is still considered an oral language, and there is no current writing system in place. However, efforts are being made to preserve this unique Black Creole language that developed in America. The Gullah Bible was published in 2005 by the Sea Island Translation Team, and Gullah Geechee advocates, such as myself, are using social media channels like TikTok to educate, share, and preserve the Gullah Geechee language.